platform. It is now February, so I am back with another great selection of 5 books that are out this month. And of course, as usual, you can win the full set, so stay tuned until the end to find out how. The book I'm going to start with is The End of Eddie by Edouard Louis. Apologies for my pronunciation. Also, because the picture's upside down, I keep accidentally holding it upside down. As you might be able to tell from the author's name, this book has actually been translated from French. It's been out for a couple of years in France, and it's done amazingly well. It's been translated into 20 languages so far. This is the story of Eddie, a young boy who grows up in a village in the north of France, where quite a lot of the people that live there live below the poverty line. Eddie is expected to conform to a certain kind of masculinity, and from a young age it becomes apparent that he doesn't. He describes a lot of the violence and the drinking of the men that he grows up around. So the book deals with poverty, masculinity, and sexuality, and I think it's a really tough but really interesting read. Then next up I have some non-fiction. This is Hitmakers by Derek Thompson. As you can see, it's very, very shiny. I think the subtitle of this book really describes well what it is. It says how things become popular, and that is what the book is about. It deals with a lot of pop culture, but it covers things from Obama's speeches to Game of Thrones to Snapchat to Star Wars. It's super fascinating, so if you're interested in topics like that, or you're looking for a present for someone, I think this is a really, really good one to go with. Next up, you might have heard that Sophie Kinsella has a new book out. This is an early proof copy, but the finished copy looks pretty similar to this. You might remember that Sophie Kinsella recently wrote a young adult book, Finding Audrey. Now this, her latest one, is actually an adult book, but I think it also works really well if you're a YA lover. This is the story of a girl called Katie who is living her perfect dream life in London, or so it seems. Turns out it's not so perfect as she manages to make it look. She works for a company where instead of participating in important meetings, she has to dye her boss's roots. And one of my favorite scenes is when she's on the London Underground, trips because it goes around a corner and accidentally takes a bite of someone's panini. It's really funny, it's really interesting, it makes you think about how we portray ourselves on social media, and sometimes it also helps you imagine people a bit more complexly. Next up I have They Can't Kill Us All by Wesley Lowery. Now this cover obviously already makes quite a statement. It is the story of the Black Lives Matter movement. So the author, Wesley Lowery, is actually a journalist who basically got called into Ferguson to report what was happening there. Also, while he was reporting, ended up being arrested. He did hundreds of interviews about segregated neighborhoods, about failing schools, about police brutality, and how all these things influence the people that have to deal with them on a daily basis. So if you want to know more about the Black Lives Matter movement and get informed, especially with what's going on in the world right now, then pick this up. And then the last book I have is Three Daughters of Eve by Elif Shafak. As you can see, this is an absolutely gorgeous cover, front and back. So Elif is a Turkish writer who actually writes in both English and Turkish. And this book follows Peri, who is like a quite wealthy Turkish housewife. As she's on her way to a dinner party, someone tries to snatch her bag, and this picture falls out of her bag that reminds her of the time she spent at Oxford when she was about 18. So this story switches between Istanbul and Oxford. It deals with family, friendship, religion, maybe some secrets as well, and also really gives you a really good insight into present day Turkey. Alright, so those are some of the brand new books that are out in February. I've realized there are a lot of white spines going on here. If you would like to win a package with all these books in it, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, then head over to our Twitter at Penguin Platform, follow us, and retweet the pinned tweet, which will be about this video. I'd love to know in the comments which of these books sounds most interesting to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for a new video every Thursday. We're also on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram if you want to have a sneak peek of some new books and a bit of a look behind the scenes. Happy reading, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!